The dark night sky above Earth was calm, almost too calm. The stars shimmered brightly, undisturbed by the noise of the world below. But far above, hidden in the cold void of space, a silent ship moved stealthily. It was a reconnaissance vessel, sleek and nearly invisible in the vastness of the galaxy. On board, a team of highly trained alien soldiers was preparing for their mission. Their orders were clear, their goals simple: observe and eliminate any potential threats from Earth. Little did they know, the very person they were about to encounter would change everything. On Earth, in a quiet forest on the outskirts of a small town, a young girl stood alone under the night sky. She was gazing up at the stars, her eyes filled with wonder. Her name was Ilara, a curious soul with a love for the mysteries of the universe. The stars had always fascinated her, and tonight, with the crisp air around her, she felt more connected to the cosmos than ever before. The telescope in her hands was her only companion, its lens trained on the stars she longed to understand. But she wasn't alone. Above her, cloaked in the shadows, the alien team was watching her. Their mission was supposed to be quick and clean: find any signs of life, assess its potential, and eliminate if necessary. However, when the team scanned the girl, they were taken aback by her unusual DNA signature. It wasn't like anything they had encountered before. To them, it was a sign of advanced intelligence, a potential threat to their mission. They decided to take action immediately. The commander of the alien team, a sharp-minded being named Commander Zayar, ordered the strike. "We cannot risk leaving this world unchecked. If this human is as dangerous as it appears, we must act," Zayar said, his voice cold and calculating. Without hesitation, the order was given. Ilara, unaware of the impending danger, continued to observe the stars through her telescope. Then, everything changed in an instant. A single, swift shot rang out from the darkness. The beam of energy struck her chest, and she crumpled to the ground. The forest fell eerily silent as her body lay lifeless beneath the stars. The alien team watched, their mission seemingly accomplished. But what they didn't know was that this action would set in motion a chain of events beyond their control. As Ilara's life slipped away, something strange occurred. A massive surge of energy rippled through the atmosphere, a burst of raw power that seemed to emanate from the very core of Earth itself. The alien team looked up, their scanners detecting the unusual readings. Before they could process what had just happened, the sky above them flickered, and a hidden defense system was triggered on Earth. Earth's secret military, designed to protect the planet from any extraterrestrial threat, was now fully awake. The energy pulse from Ilara's death had activated an ancient system, hidden for decades, waiting for a moment like this. It was a fail-safe, a defense mechanism designed to detect and retaliate against hostile alien forces. The alien team had just unknowingly triggered it, and now Earth's forces were on high alert. Back at Earth's military command center, alarms blared as the first signs of extraterrestrial presence were detected. High-ranking officers rushed to their stations, analyzing the incoming data with urgency. The system had been dormant for years, but now, thanks to the aliens' deadly mistake, it had come to life. "Prepare the ships. Activate the cloaking systems. This is it," General Hartman, the head of the Earth Defense Initiative, ordered. The mood in the command center was tense, but there was no fear, only determination. Earth was ready to fight back. Meanwhile, the aliens on the ground were still trying to comprehend what had just happened. Commander Zayar watched in disbelief as the sky above them shifted, as if reacting to their actions. His crew scrambled to make sense of the energy readings they were picking up. They were unaware that their fatal mistake had just ignited an unstoppable force, a force that would soon unleash the full might of Earth's hidden defenses. "Sir, something is wrong. This is not just an energy surge," one of the alien technicians said, panic creeping into his voice. "We've triggered something far beyond our expectations." Zayar's mind raced. They had killed a human, a seemingly insignificant act, but in doing so, they had awakened something ancient, something that could not be ignored. He tried to push aside his rising unease, but it was clear that they had underestimated humanity. The girl, Ilara, was no ordinary human, and her death had now set the stage for a war they were not prepared for. The tension was palpable as the alien team quickly realized the gravity of their actions. This wasn't just another planet to conquer. Earth was different. The surge of energy was not just a random occurrence, it was a response. The aliens had provoked something deep within the planet, something they couldn't fully comprehend yet. As the first signs of Earth's military response began to take shape, Zayar gathered his team. "We must leave, now. Earth is no longer a place we can underestimate. This mission has failed," Zayar ordered. But it was too late. The moment they had triggered the defense system, Earth's retaliation had already begun. High above, in the skies surrounding Earth, stealth ships cloaked in invisibility activated, preparing to strike back against the alien invaders. The battle for Earth's survival had just begun, and the girl, Ilara, had unknowingly sparked it all. Her death would not be in vain. The Earth's military would make sure of that. The aliens, now realizing the true consequences of their actions, braced for the inevitable conflict. The universe was about to witness a battle unlike any other, one that would pit humanity's ingenuity and survival instincts against the overwhelming power of alien technology. But no matter how advanced their technology, the aliens had failed to understand one simple truth: humanity would never go down without a fight. As Earth's hidden defenses rose into action, the alien team knew that their mission had just become far more complicated. They had awakened a sleeping giant, and now they would face the consequences. The stage was set for an epic showdown, one that would change the fate of both Earth and the alien forces forever. The moment Ilara fell to the ground, the peaceful silence of the forest shattered. Her body lay lifeless, but unbeknownst to the alien invaders, her death had just set off a chain of events that would forever alter the course of human history. As the energy surge triggered by her demise rippled through the atmosphere, Earth's secret military systems activated with a speed and precision that no one, alien or human, could have anticipated. The time for hiding was over. In a top-secret facility buried deep within the Earth's core, an elite military unit known as Sentinel Command began to stir from its long dormancy. These were not ordinary soldiers, nor were they typical defense systems. Sentinel Command was Earth's ultimate line of defense, a highly advanced, AI-driven military force with technology far beyond anything the aliens had ever encountered. And now, with the alien attack on one of their own, Earth's defenses were ready to respond. The first sign of Earth's retaliation came in the form of a massive cloaked warship emerging from Earth's atmosphere. The ship was enormous, its hull lined with gleaming metal and advanced weaponry that shimmered under the dark sky. As it pierced through the clouds, its stealth technology faltered for a split second, revealing its true size and power. The ship wasn't just a war machine. It was a symbol of humanity's strength, a force that the alien team had no way of predicting. Inside the warship, the crew of Sentinel Command went to work. The command center was a flurry of activity as the AI-controlled systems processed the data from the energy surge. On the bridge, General Hartman, the leader of Sentinel Command, stood calmly, his face illuminated by the soft glow of the monitors. Despite the impending battle, he felt no fear. He knew his soldiers were ready. "Activate the cloaking drones," Hartman ordered, his voice calm but firm. The AI systems responded immediately. Thousands of cloaked drones, each one a high-tech marvel of stealth and precision, emerged from the warship's hangar base. They were armed with advanced weaponry, each one designed to disable or destroy any threat that dared to challenge Earth. As the drones took flight, their small forms almost invisible in the night sky, they began to scan the terrain for signs of the alien team. Their mission was clear: track down the invaders, engage them in battle, and eliminate them at all costs. With their advanced AI and cloaking technology, The drones were nearly impossible to detect, and their speed made them deadly in combat. The warship continued to climb higher into the atmosphere, its weapons systems activating. Orbital bombardment was now an option, and General Hartman wasn't afraid to use it. The AI was calculating the alien positions, preparing to strike with deadly force. The fate of Earth now rested on the shoulders of Sentinel Command. The aliens had underestimated humanity, and they would soon learn just how powerful Earth's defenses truly were. Meanwhile, the alien team was still reeling from their failed mission. Commander Zayar paced back and forth, his mind racing. The girl's death had triggered a response from Earth that was unlike anything they had expected. He had thought they were simply taking out a potential threat, but now it seemed they had provoked an entire planetary defense system. "Commander, we've made a grave mistake," one of the alien technicians said, his voice shaking with fear. "Earth's defense systems are far more advanced than we anticipated. We're not prepared for this." Zier's jaw clenched as he looked up at the sky, realizing that the situation had spiraled far beyond their control. Their mission was supposed to be a quiet, discreet operation, but now it had become an all-out war. The hidden military force on Earth had been activated, and there was no turning back. Back on Earth, as the drones continued their search for the alien team, General Hartman stood at the heart of Sentinel Command, watching the screens with intense focus. Every piece of data that came in was processed by the AI, which analyzed and predicted the movements of the alien forces with pinpoint accuracy. The warship's powerful sensors were now tracking the stealth ships in the sky, and the drones were getting closer to the alien team on the ground. "Engage the alien forces. No mercy," Hartman commanded. The drones responded without hesitation, diving into the atmosphere with incredible speed. They appeared out of nowhere, striking from all angles, and the alien team had no time to react. The first few drones made quick work of the alien sentries, their energy-based weapons disintegrating anything they touched. It was a one-sided battle, and the aliens were struggling to keep up. In the midst of this chaos, a heartbreaking moment unfolded back on Earth. Ilara's father, a man who had long served in the military, stood in his home, watching the news reports of his daughter's death. His heart sank as he realized the gravity of what had just happened. His daughter had been the key to protecting humanity's future, and now she was gone. But he knew one thing for certain: her sacrifice would not be in vain. Tears welled up in his eyes as he remembered the last conversation he had with her. She had always dreamed of exploring the stars, of understanding the universe beyond their world. She had been an innocent soul, unaware of the monumental role she would play in the survival of Earth. Her death had awakened something within him, a fierce determination to protect humanity, no matter the cost. "I will make them pay," he whispered, his voice breaking with emotion. "They will regret this." The loss of Ilara had hit him hard, but it also lit a fire within him. Her death had set off a chain of events that would see humanity fight for its survival against a ruthless enemy, and he too would join the fight. Back on the front lines, the alien team was struggling to regroup. The drones had disrupted their positions, and they had no way of escaping the onslaught. Commander Zier's voice rang out over the comms, giving orders to his troops. But it was too late. The alien forces were scattered, and Earth's AI-driven military was closing in on them fast. One of the drones flew overhead, its weapons primed and ready. The alien soldiers looked up in horror as the drone locked onto their position, preparing to fire. There was no escape, no chance of survival. Earth's retaliation had been swift and devastating. The alien invaders, who had once believed themselves to be the apex predators of the galaxy, were now nothing more than prey. As the first wave of aliens was wiped out, Zayar's thoughts turned to the bigger picture. This was no longer just a mission, it was survival. And if he wanted to save his people, he would need to do the unthinkable. But before he could act, the warship's AI systems locked onto his position, and a massive orbital bombardment began. The heavens above Earth exploded with fire and light as the warship unleashed its devastating weapons, Explosions ripped through the alien forces, and what was once a carefully coordinated attack became a chaotic scramble for survival. The alien invaders had underestimated humanity. They thought they could wipe out Earth's defenses with ease, but they were wrong. The fight for survival had just begun, and it was clear that humanity was not going down without a fight. The aliens would learn that the hard way, one battle at a time. As the smoke of battle began to clear and the last of the alien forces were eliminated, Commander ZR stood on the edge of the battlefield, staring at the scattered remains of his team. His heart pounded with a sickening feeling that had slowly crept up on him. The consequences of their actions were starting to take shape, and each passing moment made it clear how gravely they had miscalculated. The realization hit him hard. The girl they had killed was not just any alien. She was human. The shock of that truth felt like a gut punch, making him stagger slightly as he processed the implications. He had always heard stories about humans, how they were resilient, how they survived against overwhelming odds, but he had never truly understood the depth of those tales until now. They weren't just survivors. They were deathworlders. Humans were a force unlike anything the galaxy had encountered before, thriving in environments other species would consider uninhabitable. Their planet, Earth, was one of the most dangerous in the universe, home to countless deadly species and extreme climates. And yet, despite all odds, humanity had persevered. To destroy one of them, especially someone like Ilara, who held a vital part of Earth's defense systems, was a mistake the aliens would soon come to regret. ZR slowly turned his gaze to the horizon, where the dark clouds seemed to part, revealing the flicker of distant lights from Earth's military ships. It was impossible to ignore the weight of the situation now. The peaceful reconnaissance mission had turned into an all-out war, and that war was just beginning. The destruction of Ilara had ignited something within Earth, a fury that would drive humanity to fight back with everything they had. "I've made a grave mistake," Zaire muttered under his breath, his voice barely audible against the sounds of the wind. He was no longer sure if he was speaking to himself or to the universe at large. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the occasional crackle of damaged equipment. His thoughts were interrupted when his second-in-command, Captain Sorrel, approached him. "Commander, the situation is dire," she said, her voice low and filled with urgency. "The remaining alien forces are still scattered, and Earth's defenses have escalated to levels we couldn't have anticipated. We need to regroup and reassess our strategy." ZR nodded slowly, his mind racing. The AI-driven drones, the orbital bombardment, the advanced cloaking technology, he had underestimated everything Earth was capable of. They were no longer just a primitive species to be wiped out with a simple strike. They were far more than that. They were warriors, and worse, they were united. Sorrel's voice pulled him from his thoughts. "Commander, we have to make it right. We can't let her death be the trigger for the complete destruction of our people. We have to do something before it's too late." ZR stood still for a moment, staring at the horizon as the full weight of his actions pressed down on him. "We've already gone too far," he said quietly. "But we can still stop this. We have to." The realization had struck him like a lightning bolt. Ilara's death wasn't just the loss of an innocent life. It was the catalyst for something far greater. To the humans, it wasn't just about revenge for one girl's life. No, it was about their survival as a species. The death of one human could easily spark the wrath of an entire planet. And now, ZR and his team were at the heart of that storm. But there was something else gnawing at him, a deep sense of guilt that could not be ignored. He had been part of a force that had taken an innocent life. They had thought the girl was just a simple target, a means to an end. But now he saw things differently. She had been an integral part of humanity's defense, someone who had unknowingly become the symbol of their survival. Her death would be the reason the humans would fight back with a fury no one could have predicted. "We've awakened a beast," Zaire muttered, his tone dark and filled with regret. As the alien forces continued to regroup, Zaire began to rally his team. "Listen to me," he said, his voice filled with a mixture of anger and resolve. "We were sent here to secure Earth, to eliminate a perceived threat. But we made a mistake. That girl, we didn't just kill an innocent. We killed someone who represented the heart of humanity's strength. And now, they'll never stop hunting us." His words hung in the air, heavy with the weight of truth. He could see the guilt in the eyes of his team members, their faces filled with the same realization. They had all underestimated the humans, and now they would pay the price. Captain Sorrel stepped forward. "What do we do now, Commander? How do we fix this?" ZR looked around at his team. "We need to find a way to undo the damage we've caused. We need to show the humans that we understand the gravity of our actions. This isn't just about a military victory anymore. It's about something deeper. It's about redemption." His voice grew more determined. "We have to stop the war before it's too late. We can't let humanity descend into chaos because of one mistake. We can still save our people, but we have to do it right. We need to find Ilara's father. He's the key." Sorrel raised an eyebrow. "Ilara's father?" Zayer nodded. "He was part of the military. He has connections to Earth's higher-ups. If we can find him, we might be able to talk to him, to show him that we want to make things right. We need him to believe that we are not all like the forces that destroyed his daughter. If we can get him on our side, perhaps we can avoid total annihilation." The realization had begun to take root within Zayer. It wasn't just about saving his own people anymore. It was about showing humanity that there was still honor, even in the midst of this brutal war. They needed to prove that they weren't all mindless invaders. The girl's death had been a tragic mistake, and if they could make amends, maybe there was still hope. But the road ahead would not be easy. The humans would never forgive what had happened. And even if Zior could find Ilara's father and convince him, it was unlikely that Earth's wrath could be quelled. The damage had already been done, and now, the alien forces had to pay the price for their actions. Zior took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the decision on his shoulders. "Let's go. We have no time to lose. The clock is ticking, and if we don't act fast, this war will consume us all." With that, Zayer and his team set off to find Ilara's father, hoping that somehow they could undo the damage that had been caused. But deep down, Zayer knew that no matter what happened, the war had already been set in motion, and there was no turning back now. The moment the order was given, chaos erupted. Earth's soldiers, under the command of their generals, had mobilized with a fury that no alien force had ever encountered. The alien ships, cloaked in stealth technology, were caught off guard by the precision of Earth's response. They had underestimated humanity, and now they would feel the full force of the Earth's fury. As alien soldiers stormed the surface, human exosuits activated with a mechanical hum. These suits, far less sophisticated than their alien counterparts, gave the soldiers an edge in terms of speed, agility, and sheer determination. Each soldier was a force of nature, honed for battle, and driven by a desire for revenge. Every punch, every kick, every shot fired was a testament to their resolve. They had lost too much already, and now it was time for the aliens to pay. The battle raged on with violent intensity. Exosuited human soldiers sprinted across the battlefield, weaving between explosions, dodging incoming fire from the alien forces. They fought with an animalistic rage, their movements fast and precise. Earth's advanced weapons systems, while not as high-tech as the aliens, were effective in the hands of the soldiers. Cloaking devices, which had been invented by the humans for stealth operations, were now used against the invaders. Soldiers appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eye, attacking from all angles and catching the alien forces completely off guard. One human soldier, Lieutenant Harris, moved through a narrow alien corridor with his team. The walls were covered in strange, alien technology that hummed with energy, but Harris barely noticed. His focus was on the mission, to find and destroy the alien command center. The cloaking device on his suit kept him hidden, making him an almost invisible threat. As he advanced, his team followed closely, each soldier prepared for the battle that lay ahead. The air was thick with tension, and their hearts beat in sync, knowing the fate of their world depended on their success. Without warning, Harris signaled for a halt. The team crouched low, peering around the corner to find a group of alien soldiers stationed near a security checkpoint. The aliens were unaware of their presence. It was the perfect opportunity. Harris whispered into his comm, "On my mark. We take them out fast and clean." The sound of their weapons charging filled the air, and then, as one, the human soldiers sprang into action. Harris moved like a shadow, a blur of motion, as his exosuit enhanced his speed. He fired his pulse rifle, the energy blast cutting through the air and striking down one of the aliens before it could react. His team followed suit, each soldier using their cloaking to strike from unexpected angles. The alien soldiers had no chance. The battle outside raged on, but Harris and his team knew their mission was far from over. As they continued through the corridors, alien ships could be seen through the viewport, firing on the military positions below. The aliens were relentless, their technology superior, but humanity was not going down without a fight. Above in the skies, Earth's hidden defense systems had come online. Massive warships, cloaked in advanced stealth tech, broke through Earth's atmosphere. These ships, designed for orbital bombardment, began their assault on the alien fleet, firing high-powered energy beams that sliced through the air with deafening force. The alien ships, though equipped with powerful shields, were no match for the sheer firepower of Earth's military. The explosions from the bombardment lit up the sky, the shockwaves reverberating through the atmosphere. Alien ships began to fall from the sky, their cloaking devices useless against the bombardment. But the human military wasn't done. They had the element of surprise, and they were using it to full effect. The alien forces tried to regroup, but it was clear that Earth had the upper hand. With each passing moment, the human forces pushed back, their soldiers more determined than ever to protect their planet. The tide of the battle had shifted, and now it was the aliens who were on the defensive. Back on the ground, Lieutenant Harris and his team moved deeper into the heart of the alien command center. The alien technology around them was intimidating, but the soldiers pressed on, determined to finish the mission. As they made their way through the labyrinthine corridors, they could hear the distant rumble of explosions from above. They knew that their actions on the ground were part of something much bigger, a global fight for survival. The final push was coming. The alien command center was just ahead, and Harris knew that taking it down would deal a decisive blow to the alien forces. The team moved quickly, their training kicking in as they prepared for the final assault. There was no turning back now. They had to win, no matter the cost. As they reached the heart of the command center, Harris gave the signal to breach the door. The explosion echoed in the narrow corridor as they forced their way inside. The alien soldiers inside were ready for a fight, but they had no idea what awaited them. The human soldiers stormed in, guns blazing, as they cut through the alien ranks with surgical precision. The alien technology that once seemed so powerful was now their downfall. The humans fought with a blend of anger and determination, knowing that the survival of their planet depended on their success. The aliens fought back fiercely, but it was clear that they were losing. Their once imposing weapons were ineffective against the human soldiers, who had mastered their own unique form of combat. Each shot, each strike, was a testament to human ingenuity and willpower. They may not have had the same advanced technology as the aliens, but they had something far more powerful: the will to survive. The battle inside the command center was a blur of gunfire, explosions, and the sound of alien armor crumpling beneath human strength. It was close-quarters combat at its most brutal, but humanity's determination shone through. The aliens, once confident in their superiority, were now fighting for their lives. They had never imagined that Earth, a planet they had dismissed as insignificant, would rise up in such fury. As Harris and his team reached the command console, He knew that the final blow was within reach. He fired a shot, hitting the console with precision. The explosion that followed was deafening, and the alien command center was destroyed in an instant. The aliens were no longer in control. Outside, the sky lit up with the explosion of more alien ships as Earth's warships continued their assault. The battle for Earth was not over, but it had reached a turning point. The humans had proven that they were not to be underestimated. They had fought back with everything they had, and now the aliens were beginning to realize the price of their mistake. As the smoke cleared and the last of the alien forces were wiped out, Lieutenant Harris stood amidst the wreckage, breathing heavily. He knew that the war was far from over, but they had won a crucial battle. Humanity had proven that they were not just survivors. They were warriors, and they would fight to the very end to protect their home. The tide had turned. The aliens would never forget the fury of Earth, and humanity would never forget the sacrifices made to ensure their survival. The fight for the future was far from over, but for the first time in a long while, humanity felt a glimmer of hope. As the dust settled over the battlefield, and the sounds of battle slowly faded into the distance, an eerie calm fell upon the war-torn land. The invaders, once so sure of their victory, now found themselves on the verge of defeat. Earth's military forces, despite their limited resources and technology, compared to the highly advanced alien fleets, had struck a resounding blow. But the story was far from over. Commander Ziyar stood at the front of the wreckage, surrounded by his remaining troops. His once confident and imposing presence was now marked by uncertainty. His eyes, usually cold and calculating, now held a deep sadness, reflecting the realization of the grave mistake he had made. The woman, no, the human girl, whom his team had killed, was not just an innocent bystander. She had been far more than that. Her death, along with the losses suffered by his forces, weighed heavily on his mind. The war had never been about just defeating an inferior species. It had been about survival and power. Yet, as Ziyar stood there in the midst of the destruction, he couldn't help but question everything he had known. His soldiers had followed orders, believing that humans were weak and insignificant, easily crushed under the might of their alien overlords. But the humans had fought back with a fury and tenacity that Ziyar had never expected. He had seen it all: the bravery of human soldiers, their willingness to sacrifice everything to protect their planet. The girl, whose life he had taken, was not just an innocent victim. She had been a symbol of hope for her people, a crucial part of humanity's defense. Her death, Ziyar realized, had sparked the very thing he had feared most: the awakening of humanity's true strength. In that moment, he understood the gravity of his actions. Ziyar's gaze fell to the ground, his shoulders heavy with the weight of regret. His thoughts were interrupted by a transmission that crackled over his communication device. It was from the human military command. Earth's leaders, having realized the importance of the alien surrender, had gathered to decide whether or not to trust the alien commander who had just offered his surrender. The debate was heated. Some human officers were adamant that Ziyar's forces had committed atrocities and that no amount of remorse could undo the damage done. Others, however, saw an opportunity to form an alliance with the alien commander and end the war. They argued that Ziyar's surrender meant that he had recognized the might of humanity, and perhaps, just perhaps, he could help them turn the tide in their favor. After all, the enemy was still formidable, and humanity would need all the help they could get to ensure their survival. Ziyar listened carefully to the heated arguments from both sides, his mind racing. It wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about redemption. For the first time since the invasion began, he had to confront the truth about his actions. His people, once filled with pride and arrogance, had been blind to the strength and resilience of humanity. And now, the very species they had sought to subjugate had proven that it was not to be underestimated. The death of the young girl had been a catalyst for change, not just for Earth, but for Ziyar himself. He was no longer the cold, calculating commander he once was. He had become someone who could feel the weight of his decisions, who could recognize the consequences of his actions. In the quiet that followed, Zayar made a decision. He would do whatever it took to prove his commitment to humanity's cause. If they would accept him, he would fight alongside them. It wasn't just a matter of survival anymore. It was a matter of doing what was right. As Zayar made his way to the human military command, he felt a knot tighten in his chest. The thought of facing the humans, of begging for their trust after everything that had transpired, was terrifying. He had once been their enemy, but now he was something else, a man who had seen the error of his ways and was determined to make amends. He entered the command room, his heart pounding in his chest. The room fell silent as Zayar approached the humans who had been the driving force behind Earth's resistance. He could see the skepticism in their eyes, the uncertainty about whether or not they could trust him. But he stood tall, looking each of them in the eye. "I have made mistakes," Zayar began, his voice steady, but filled with the weight of his regret. "And I am here to make them right. My forces killed your people, and for that, I am sorry. But I have come to realize that your people are not the weak, insignificant creatures I once thought you were. You are survivors. You are warriors, and you deserve my respect, not my destruction." There was a long pause as the humans took in his words. It was clear that many of them were struggling to accept what Zayar was saying. But others, those who had fought alongside him on the battlefield, could see the sincerity in his eyes. They knew that war had a way of changing people, especially those who had the courage to face the truth. One of the human generals, General Collins, spoke up. "And what do you expect from us, Commander? After everything that's happened, how can we trust you? How do we know you won't betray us the moment we turn our backs?" Zayar took a deep breath, his voice unwavering. "I don't expect you to trust me right away. But I ask for a chance to prove that I am not the man I once was. I am ready to fight beside you, to help you defeat those who still seek to destroy your world. I have no loyalty to those who would bring suffering to innocent people. My loyalty lies with those who fight for what is right." There was another long silence as the humans weighed his words. Zayar could see the skepticism in their eyes, but also the flicker of something else, something like hope. It was a small spark, but it was there. And in that moment, Zayar knew that this was his chance for redemption. Finally, General Collins nodded. "We'll give you that chance, Commander. But know this, we are watching you. Prove that your words are more than just words. Help us finish this war, and we will help you rebuild what you've lost." Zayar nodded solemnly. "Thank you. You won't regret this decision." And with that, the once feared alien commander found himself standing alongside the very people he had once sought to destroy. It was a new beginning for him, one marked by redemption and a commitment to making things right. He knew that it would be a long road ahead, but for the first time in a long while, he felt that he was on the right path. As the alliance between humans and the alien commander was forged, Earth's military forces began to reorganize and prepare for the final battle. The war was far from over, but with the new alliance, humanity had a chance to defeat the alien invaders once and for all. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose and determination, Commander Zayar and the human forces set their sights on victory, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The turning point had come, and humanity's future was no longer uncertain. Together, humans and their former enemies would stand united, stronger than ever before. The final battle was unlike anything Earth had ever seen. The once quiet skies above the planet had become a battleground. The human forces, against all odds, had risen to challenge the overwhelming might of the alien invaders, and now the fate of the world hung in the balance. It was not just a battle for survival, it was a fight for humanity's future. As Earth's forces launched into the final confrontation, the tension was palpable. The air crackled with energy as spaceships darted across the sky, missiles streaking through space, and cloaked warships carefully maneuvered to take down the alien armada. Each human ship, though smaller and less advanced than the alien vessels, carried the weight of humanity's will to survive. Their technology had been rapidly upgraded, using the knowledge gleaned from the alien weapons and the fierce determination of Earth's best engineers. High-speed dogfights ensued in the vast expanse of space. Earth's ships weaved and dove, missiles streaking from their sides, homing in on their alien targets. The alien fleet was larger, their ships technologically superior in many ways. Yet the humans had one thing that the aliens could never account for: their ability to adapt quickly, to think on their feet, and to work together in ways the invaders never anticipated. The alien forces were caught off guard as Earth's cloaked ships appeared out of nowhere, launching surprise attacks. These human fighters, seemingly outmatched in every way, turned the tide by using their environment to their advantage, combining high-tech cloaking devices with the raw power of their resolve. Each attack felt like a testament to the sacrifices made along the way. Every victory was hard-earned, every move calculated to perfection. Meanwhile, on the ground, Earth's military continued to hold the line against the alien soldiers. The battle was brutal, close-quarters combat between humans and the alien forces that had terrorized the planet for months. With their advanced exosuits, AI-driven weapons, and tactical prowess, Earth's soldiers fought like they had something to protect, and they did. Everything they loved, everything they stood for. The aliens were relentless, but the humans were fueled by an undying spirit to preserve their home. As the battle raged on in space and on Earth's surface, the alien commander, Zayar, stood by his side, watching the events unfold. He had once believed that humanity was a weak species, destined to be crushed under the weight of the Galactic Empire. But now, as he saw the humans fight with such ferocity, he realized the truth. The humans were not weak. They were the underdogs, and they had proven that even against overwhelming odds, they would never give up. In the midst of the chaos, Zayar made a decision that would forever change the course of history. As he watched his alien comrades fall, he knew that the war was not about winning. It was about the survival of the galaxy. And if the human forces could defeat the alien invaders, they would be the ones to lead the charge against the greater galactic empire that had once controlled them. The final blow came when Earth's forces, working together with Zayar's alien troops, launched a coordinated attack that devastated the alien flagship. The massive warship, which had once been a symbol of invincibility, was reduced to a flaming wreck in space. The aliens, once so proud of their superiority, were now retreating. It was over. The humans had won, but it wasn't just a victory over the aliens. It was a victory over the belief that humanity was powerless, that they were weak, that they could be crushed by the forces of the galaxy. The alien commander, once the enemy, now stood beside the humans, a symbol of the possibility of redemption and change. In a moment of peace, Zayar approached the human leaders. "I know what I've done," he said, his voice filled with remorse. "I fought against you, but now I see that you are the true warriors of the galaxy. The empire that I served is corrupt, and I will fight with you to take it down. You have my loyalty, and I will help you lead the way to a future where peace can exist." The humans, having seen his sincerity, accepted his offer. They knew that the path ahead would not be easy, but with Zayar by their side, they had the chance to change the future of the galaxy. The battle was over, but the war for peace had just begun. As the alien ships fled, Earth's soldiers stood tall, victorious, but solemn. The girl who had unknowingly started this war, whose death had ignited the fury of humanity, had paved the way for an unexpected alliance. Her sacrifice would never be forgotten. On Earth, a memorial was erected in her honor, a tribute to the young girl who had become a symbol of humanity's strength, resilience, and ability to rise above the darkness. The final shot of the battle showed the memorial, a place where the ashes of the fallen would be remembered, and the future of humanity would be secured. The girl's name, though never spoken aloud in the heat of battle, was etched into the stone, a reminder that sometimes the smallest spark can ignite a fire that changes the world. As the dust settled, Humanity knew that the battle for their home was over. But the larger war, the war for intergalactic peace and the overthrow of the corrupt galactic empire, had just begun. The alliance between humans and former enemies had created a new hope for the future. It was a future where alliances could be forged not through fear, but through the recognition of mutual respect and shared goals. Victory felt satisfying, yes, but it was bittersweet. The cost of this victory had been high. The girl's death would always be a painful memory, a reminder that even the smallest actions can have far-reaching consequences. But in her sacrifice, humanity had found its greatest strength. The girl had started a war, yes, but she had also shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. And now, with the alien commander at their side, humanity had a chance to not only protect their future, but to shape the future of the galaxy itself. As the last of the alien ships disappeared into the distance, Earth stood united, stronger than ever, and ready for whatever challenges lay ahead. The future was uncertain, but with the victory they had just achieved, humanity had proven that they were no longer just survivors. They were warriors, and they were ready to face the next challenge together.